What is going on, lads? Jack here, and welcome to episode 46 of The Road to Glory with FC United of Manchester. Hopefully you guys are good. This save is going pretty well. I'm very, very, very optimistic. On the contrary, I can't say that word. I just give up. On the opposite of what I said last episode, today isn't the Watford game, it's the Wolves FA Cup 4th round game. As I promised, I was never going to miss a cup game again. That would have been a potential upset, and so here we are. But before we can get into today's match, we are going to move on to fixtures. So the last episode was the Coventry 3-0 win. Since then, we've had a mixed bag of results. It started off with a very disappointing home performance against MK Dons. They were just better than us. We didn't play very well. Olivian got 2 goals, which is pretty unusual for the left wing back playing at left mid. But credit to him, he had a pretty good game, all things considering. It's just a shame that the players around him really didn't perform. Particularly in the final third, we looked really poor this game, despite grabbing 2. Looking at the stats, perhaps a little unlucky to get the result that we got, but at the end of the day, you kind of make your own luck, and it was a really disappointing performance. And then following this, we got, I think this is the third game this season where we've not scored, which kind of says a lot for our attacking threat. But if you look at the stats, we probably should have scored. We just didn't take our chances again. Players like Barney, Afum, just not taking any chances that came their way, which was really disappointing. Fortunately for us, we did get back into our groove. Again, Hereford, you'd expect us to beat them every day of the week. 3-0 probably flattered them. Again, this could have been a lot more. It was nice to see Barney get on the score sheet and perform this game, as well as Afum. But yeah, that's how we've got into the 4th round. And then our next game was against Notts County, which was a 1-1 away draw. We grabbed a goal back very late on. Shane Barney on the score sheet. Notts County second in the league. I mean, that's a really good result, at least in my eyes, to get that comeback. And really, that's all that's been going on this month in terms of the fixtures. We had a few fixtures called off because of the bad weather, because Gig Lane, which is Bury's ground that we share, is really, really bad. And I get at least 2 or 3 games postponed every season, which I don't think I've ever had with any other team ever, but just this save has been one of those saves where it seems like I get a constant barrage of games postponed. Anyway, moving on to the transfer front. Since the previous episode, there's been a few changes in and out. On the outs, we have loaned out Ryan Doble. He's gone out on loan to Lincoln. Get some first team experience, keep him fit, maybe try and get some money from him at the end of the year. And the other player to go was Matt Lecointe, who I kind of just decided to sell. I mean, he's a very good player, don't get me wrong, but he's 23, so maybe I should have kept hold of him upon reflection. But he's not been the first team player this year. Alipour has been, and although on paper they're very kind of different players, Alipour is significantly worse. Alipour is still only 18. The other thing that I guess was another reason for selling Matt was the fact he was on 2.3k a week, which his wage hasn't actually gone up going to Hearts. They're paying him around the same we were, but it was totally disproportionate. Gosh, I'm really struggling with words today. It was kind of really I'm not even going to say it. Just ignore me. It just didn't suit who he was. It was well too much to be paying him. And so to get, almost $500,000 for him, considering we bought him in just 2 seasons ago for 70k. Well, actually, it was more of a season and a half ago for 70k. I think that's a fantastic little return. Nice little bit of profit. And he developed at our club and he's moved on. And it's nice to have players who come in that perform for the club and perform well, and then be able to kind of let them go for decent money and feel happy that you've done a good deal. So that was the only out, really. Another player who I did try to get rid of, which sounds really nasty when I put it like that, but it was Brian Olivian, or Olivan, as I meant to pronounce his name. The reason for this being, he's a left winger. He's not a centre half, and I'm not playing with left backs at the moment. I'm playing a narrow 3 at the back. Potentially in the future he might be useful to us, but there's no time like the present. He's on 1.8k a week. He's worth almost $500,000. He's wanted by 3 clubs. So I might try and flog him with 3 days left of the transfer window. In fact, while I'm here, I will offer him to clubs. we'll offer him for 3.25k and see if we can get that for him. It's just, it'd be nice to get some good money for him, and it would help balance the books, because although we have a nice little transfer budget to work with, our actual balance isn't great. And just by offloading Olivier and Conte, it'll really help to balance the books and keep us financially stable. I mean, looking at last year, we really kind of dipped around this time of the year. This year, we've been a lot more steady with our money, which has been really nice to see. So I guess that's a pretty positive thing. On the transfer ins now. First things first, Christopher Brown is joining us when his contract ends in April. Got the work permit sorted for him. He's now on 63 caps. His value's now, he's worth nothing. But this guy, really excited to have him come into the club. He's been playing in the Trinidad and Tobago National League for a long time, and it's now time for him to make a step up in English football. He really is kind of the superstar of the Trinidad and Tobago national team. He's just their star, and hopefully he can bring some of that kind of experience that he has at international level to us. And actually, looking at his stats, if we can get his natural fitness up, he could set a really big record for caps. Like, he could get nearly 200 caps at the rate he's going, so maybe that's something to keep an eye out for. Ciro Di Palma, unfortunately couldn't get him in. The young he's Italian and Australian. They wanted 1.8 million for him, and although I said I was willing to spend some money on this guy because I've looked at him for so long, I'm not willing to put up that much money for a player. So that's that. On the ins, I did bring in one player, and that was Francesco Andoni. And Andoni is a really good player, actually. He's a German centre-back. He played in Gillingham in the League One. I mean, looking at his performances, he got released by the Borussia Dortmund youth team, so you really can't say a lot more other than if you turn up there and you play 19 games in their first team at the young age that he was, he must be a half-decent player. I mean, his ratings weren't great, but those 15 games in the Bundesliga at the age of... How long ago was that? 4 years ago? So at the age of 17, he was playing first-team Bundesliga. I mean, to bring this guy in was really good, and to get him on a free, because his contract had run out at Gillingham last season. I literally have no idea why no one picked him up. But looking at his ratings, he averaged a 7.76 rating at Gillingham in 2 years, one in our division and one in the league below us. I'm really excited by this guy, partnering him with kind of Glenn Stewart. Alexis, who's another player who's developed absolutely insanely. I mean, I'm very excited. I feel as if the defence is now getting some balance, and the whole squad is a lot more balanced. Kind of now that I've had a little bit more time to work with it, and slowly but surely a lot of our young prospects are starting to develop, which is really good to see. So anyway, let's get straight into today's game. As I mentioned, it is a big tie for us in the FA Cup against Wolves. We are at home to them, and it should be a good game, and it's on TV as well, so there's some good money to be made here in terms of the TV money. But Wolves are they a Premier League team or Championship team? Let's check that really quick. Can I check that, please, game? Are we not going to let me do it? I'll have to do it this way. Yeah, okay, so they're really high up in the Championship, so it's going to be tough for us. But I have faith in the lads. Okay, we can have another sub. How kind. Defender, one midfielder, really. One midfielder. I'll tell you what, we'll put on Quidgley on the bench. Quidgley's been a good player for us this year. Just a quick look at him, because to be honest, he came in on a free when we were in League 2, and he didn't really play loads, but he was kind of a nice backup player. Whereas this year he has stepped up his game quite a bit, and he's put in a few good performances when players like Montgomery and Peltari have needed rests and stuff. So he's been a really nice resource player for us to have. But anyway, let's get straight into today's game. Looking at their team, they've got Mayachi, Ebanks-Blake, Sigurdsson, Elikobi. Is that Adam Smith? It is Adam Smith. Adam Smith is a good player on this. Smallwood. They've got quite a good squad, to be honest, Wolverhampton. You'd expect them to. It looks like they're playing a near enough full-strength team, so this isn't going to be easy. But to be fair, when we came up against a kind of higher class opposition earlier on in the League Cup, we did a really good job against them. So hopefully we can do that again today. We're at home, So you feel like we've always got a chance at home. Going to be sticking with our very attacking play style. I was actually looking at the league table in terms of kind of goals scored and that kind of stuff. We've scored the most goals in the league, but we also have one of the worst defences, which, I don't know, I mentioned at the start of the season how this year I really wanted to outscore oppositions. And I think when you play free at the back, you're almost condoning yourself to the fact and kind of accepting that you are going to concede goals. But I feel as if the attacking presence that we get is well worth it. And as I say, Ebanks Blake scores for them. That's 1-0 Wolves. Looking at the stats, pretty 50-50. That was a nicely worked goal for them. I mean, I'm not expecting us to get a result here, but it'd be nice to put up some resistance and maybe just grab a goal or two. This season, we've developed a lot as a team. I really feel... Is he given a penalty? Oh dear, that was terrible, ref. It was never a penalty, even though I can't see it. It was never a penalty. Miss it. Go on, Bembo. Miss it. He didn't miss it. They never miss penalties against me, and then whenever I have a penalty, they always miss it, my team. Does anyone else have that problem on FM, or is that just me? I can't score a penalty on this game for the life of me. I swear. I swear it's terrible. But no, I mean, Wolves in real life, I mean, I think they're pretty much condoned to relegation now as I record this. Which, I don't know, they could be an interesting save on League, like next year in League One. I'm going to tell the players they've not been good enough. Show me something else. Just show me something else, lads. That was terrible. Jack is disappointed in you all. I'll tell you who I am not disappointed, though. Guess who? Oh my god, I can't get my words out. I should not record episodes at 1 in the morning. That's the moral of the story, but I'm sat here with energy drinks and I can't get to sleep. First world problems. I haven't actually got to be up in the morning for uni until 3 in the afternoon, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, who doesn't play FM until kind of stupid o'clock in the morning anyway? I mean, and if you're one of those people who doesn't play this until stupid o'clock in the morning, then you're not a true FMer. You're not a true fan, just a wannabe. Go on, Barney. Go on, Barney. He grabs a goal, 2-1. We are still in this. That's his 20th goal of the season. That is pretty impressive. He really struggled last season to grab goals, Barney, but this year, him and a thumb up top, I think they've almost got 40 between them already this season, which is amazing to see. Little turn of pace there, beating the keeper to the ball, and it was Hennessy. Gets the ball around him, and very nice finish. So we've got 20 minutes to grab the goal back. I might just bring on... Who have we got on the bench? Who have we got on the bench? I'll tell you what. We're going to make some changes. We're going to bring on Georgiades for a thumb, because their thumb's had a pretty quiet game. And then we'll bring on Robbie Farmer for Reed, because Reed's had a quiet game as well. Go with them changes. 8 minutes left to try and grab a goal. Georgiades has been a bit of a super sub this year. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get anything. There's 2 minutes left of the game. It's going to be tough for us, you feel now, but 2-1 wouldn't necessarily be a bad result, especially at home. It'll be interesting to see if we beat any records for kind of gate receipts and stuff. Just to get, to the 4th round of the FA Cup's absolutely insane, and they've scored there. A little bit disappointing, I guess, to concede there to make it 3-1, but to be honest, I'm pretty proud of the lads, because this team that we're playing are a very top championship side. They're playing a very strong starting 11, and that was a really good diving header by Lockett. I can't really argue against that and say we could have done anything differently. And that is full time, so a little bit disappointing, to lose 3-1. I would have been content with it at the start of the game, and my players aren't happy with themselves for that performance. Looking at the stats, they were the better team. They just have more quality about them. I mean, I feel as if we are good enough to play in the Championship, and it's going to be interesting to see in the long run if we can get to the Championship and then see how well we compare against them when it's not like a League Cup game. Looking at the stats, it looks like we did smash a record attendance with 10,000 people turning up to the game. Although I can't see if it doesn't seem to say anywhere that we beat our record. Let me advance one more day. We'll see what's what. Oh, okay, here it is. Here it is. I thought this had come. So we've got a new record attendance. Our previous record was against Villa, which was 9,000. And we beat that by almost 1,500, which is absolutely insane. And we raked in 130k. So that's almost double our previous record against Aston Villa. And because of the TV money and stuff, I think our finances are going to be sorted now. Yeah, we're only £9,000 in debt. That's really good to see. If you look at our income for this season against last season, TV revenue this season, we've already made more money from TV. As you can see, there's a big spike here where we gained the money for today's Cup run. So that's really nice to see us get that money for the 4th round of the FA Cup. And that sees a nice little bit of money that wasn't really expected. Players sold has given us a nice little bump. The sale of Leconte gives us 400k this year. Last year we didn't make that much from sales. Match day income were almost on par with what we got last year in terms of ticket sales and stuff, so that's really good to see. And looking at the overall kind of side of things, we're only 250k away from kind of getting the income that we made last year. Looking at the expenditure, we have spent more this year, but I was a little bit worried with the finances last year, and I said I kind of wanted a stability year, although I would have much rather had a comfortable year last year in the league, just to stay in this league and go on this little cut run. Our finances are looking a lot healthier this year, guys. I can't stress how important it is to look at finances. That was actually something I wouldn't mind knowing. Guys, do you want to see a finance tutorial where I talk about kind of balancing the books? Using projected finances, that kind of stuff, because I feel as if that's an underappreciated area of this of kind of FM, the business side of things. So let me know in the comments, guys. I think that wraps it up for today's episode. The next episode, I'm not going to do the Watford game because it's well too soon. The next game might be the Gillingham game, because I'm looking at it and we haven't got that many fixtures. Where are Gillingham in the league? They're not that high. Tranmere's right at the end of the season. Where are Torquay or Hartlepool? Have we got to play them? We've got to play Torquay soon. I guess the next video will be the Hartlepool game at home. That is in 2 months. I think that's reasonable. There's only 5 games in the meantime, so that seems like a good idea. So yeah, we'll do the Hartlepool game next episode, guys. Just a quick look at the league table. As you can see, we have slipped down to 4th. We have got 2 matches in hand, and if we were to win both, we'd go top of the league by 2 points ahead of Watford, and if Tranmere win their game in hand, we'd also be 2 points ahead of them. So that's the league table for you guys. As always, guys, give the video a cheeky like, as I mentioned already. If you want to see a finance tutorial, or you have any other suggestions for kind of tutorials, let me know down in the description. And other than that, guys, I'll talk to you in a bit. It's me, Jack, and I'm out.